right, so welcome to the fourth and final review of the evening. Up this time is Baron of Blood. Baron of Blood is a 2D platformer game with a colorful pixel art graphics. Fight your way through exciting levels and defeat monsters and ghouls. Collect coins to buy powerful items that will help you on your adventure. You are or were once a powerful baron, accused of treason by a dark mage, and banished from the kingdom. Fight your way back to defeat the mage and free the king. Okay, that's a simple, if a bit confusing, since I'm guessing this mage has the rank of vizier or something.
Somehow the mage became the regent. All right.
Yeah, being able to oust a baron, especially a baron of influence, not easy.
I mean, baron's like the lowest ranking nobility, but it is still nobility.
I was going to say, but they are nobility.
Yeah, plus ranking kind of depends on what country you're talking about. It isn't an even keel across, England or Russia or France. It's like different countries have different nobility rankings. Like a baron could be the lowest in one area, could be second highest in another. But yeah, once again, still a bit. I think they just needed the baron moniker for the whole alliteration scheme they got going here.
Yeah, being able to call your game Bob has its advantages.
Yes. Also, Bloody Baron unfortunately invokes Harry Potter. But I don't think that was the intention here.
I'm sure not.
But
there have been plenty of barons who did, various things that caused blood.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that's a historical term for someone. With that in mind, yeah, so this is a pixel art platformer. I can't say of the old school variety. You can see the Steam page on screen because Pettyfan couldn't get the game to work right on his monitor. But, it's that nondescript pixel art style. The kind that Rodalikia games used to come by the dozens. It's like I couldn't. We've talked about this before. It's like there are some pixel art games where they are invoking a specific platform, and then there are pixel art games that are more generalized. That is this. If I had to pick what this is going for, I'd say this looks like a Amiga title or Atari ST. Something that would have been mildly impressive on the 16-bit computer systems. I say mildly because this game, doesn't have any parallax scrolling going on here.
Definitely not Genesis or Super Nintendo. It'd be a 16-bit PC platform.
Yeah. It's also the room spacing is, it's got scrolling, but I won't say it's the smoothest scrolling in the world. Definitely invokes more like PC platforms. Just the general design makes me think of PC games from say 1991. But like I said, I don't necessarily know that that is what the devs were going for here. Anyway, so I suppose to contrast this game with Chenzo Club, this is a game that looks rougher than it is. because like it's a game where it has very specific things. Like it's got committed arc jumps. You know, like when
So my joke of Castlevania, you know, via the Amstrad is not too far off thematically.
Like yeah, it's jumping. Its jumping is definitely is definitely comparable to Castlevania. But the thing is, the Bloody Baron here, he's more nimble than any Belmont. Like,
But Alucard.
Well, yeah, that's the surprising thing here. The entire game is a lot more nimble than you'd expect from the arcs and the weight behind everything.
Because yeah, that is a very distinct distinction. Alucard is probably still one of the most nimble Castlevania protagonists.
I mean, Symphony of the Night didn't really have the fixed jump arc.
Yeah, he's not Alucard nimble because once again you can see the jump arcing in the footage.
But right. Richter was decent at it.
Yeah, I'm like, and also he's very dead weighty. As in he will drop. Just drop, without a lot of maneuverability, or like there does seem to be some. Because like there was like a passage that relied on the old drop and move trick, but I'm like, really with this guy, like,
right?
That wasn't happening. Or at least I wasn't going to be dealing with that. Anyway, so that's not the biggest flaw, like barrier. I think barrier is the right word here. To a player's enjoyment of the game. No, that's the weaponry. That fucking axe. Okay, it's got like no range. Seriously, like the combat range here, more akin to Adol than any sort of Belmont.
Yeah, the less agile and maneuverable your character is, the better range and utility on weapons they need.
Yeah,
one of the ways that even the original Castlevania was very carefully designed is that A, your basic weapon has a decent range even though it's slow, and 2, the sub-weapons give you the ability to damage things in directions that you can't with your main weapon.
Yeah. You don't really get anything like that here. And in fact, there's an additional encumbrance. So you see the 2 bars on screen at the bottom?
Yeah.
The first one, that's your health. The second one, that's your stamina.
Which one is blood?
I'm like, functionally, it's your stamina. Like, so every time you swing, you will drain your stamina bar by 10. So if
and how fast does it automatically recover? He said, hopefully.
And he replied knowingly, pretty damn slow.
Hey, that's better than not at all.
True, but the game would be unplayable if it did that. Like, that just would not have worked. Not so much with the regular rank and file enemies. So once again, there's kind of 2 schools of thought when it comes to platforming enemies. One, they're just obstacles. Like they're in your way, but they're pretty easily dispatched. I.e., what a lot of Mario and Sonic fodder tends to be. On the other path is your actual challenges that you have to fight. See Mega Man, Castlevania, once again, a whole Ghouls and Ghosts, if we're keeping with the spooky games.
Mm-hmm.
And this game goes for more the Mario route. Like the actual enemies on screen, they're more obstacles that you have to, either take out with your axe or whatever weapon you have equipped. Or later on, you will get like bombs, basically. They're flasks of liquid that explode. So, bombs. And you can use those to take out enemies. Though you have to deal with with once again arcing patterns. This game really likes its arcs. No, the real problem comes with bosses. Because you are expected to fight full-on bosses with energy meters and everything like that, with this dinky little weapon. And once again, it's kind of saved by the fact that your character is a lot more nimble than he has any right to be. But it still runs into the problems of, swinging your weapon too fast, and, not being able to attack. I know that's supposed to be part of the strategy, but honestly, this kind of thing always feels like fake difficulty to me. Like, you're making this more difficult. And I'm not even sure why there's a stamina meter here. Like, it doesn't enhance the game any.
Yeah, stamina meter. Okay. There's a minimal argument for a stamina meter as a thing where to keep you from spamming an attack all the time if the attack would otherwise be too spammable. But that doesn't sound like that's a problem here.
No. Like, I genuinely do not get why a stamina bar was included. Why this is a thing.
That's a stamina bar for attacks specifically. The other main reason is if you have some kind of non-attacking maneuver that is powerful that you want to make somewhat limited, a stamina meter is a good way to do that.
Yeah. Honestly, it's a detriment to the game. Like, this game would have been no worse off at best without this stamina bar.
Mm-hmm. Again, to go to Castlevania, Order of Ecclesia, all of your attacks are spells, and you have a quickly refilling magic meter that's effectively a stamina meter.
Mm-hmm.
That's good because some of the attacks are very strong.
Right.
Or very spammable.
That's
especially when you get more spell-like ones.
Yeah, you either do that or you have a cooldown time.
Mm-hmm.
This game really doesn't have the systems in place to make that viable. And it's also why, it absolutely could not do limited stamina with your main weapon, because otherwise it would have been not a soft lock, you would have been demolished by one of the bosses.
Mm-hmm.
In case you can get power-ups, or, you can get, like, refillables for your life, for your energy, at the merchant store. That's what the big coins are for. But, to have that limited would have broken the game. So, thankfully the devs realized that much. Another thing I didn't like is this game has a limited life pool. Life shields, they're called. That, in the corner there, buy your coins. That is the amount of lives you have. And, I'm sorry, once again, we've kind of moved on past this design principle.
Mm-hmm.
And once again, it's not something that ever added to the game. Because here's the thing, paradoxically, you have too many lives to make it matter. most places.
Yeah, there are two ways of going it. One, you don't have enough lives, and therefore it becomes too frustrating to get to the later parts of the game, and or you have to restart from earlier and earlier things depending on how your lives work. Or, well, congratulations! Even in the year of our Lord 20 whatever, this Mario and/or Kirby game still has a live system, but it doesn't fucking matter because you're gonna have 999. You're gonna have maxed out lives just by playing basically over a few worlds.
Mm-hmm. Like, so, yeah. Like I said, I wanted to like this game more than I did, but I think it's just hampered by some design principles that make sense in other games, not this one. Anyway, so in terms of pricing, this slightly unusual here, as it's clocking in at $9.90. So, from what I understand, when a developer goes for an unusual price, there's usually a meaning behind it. Because apparently that's actually a kind of a pain in the ass to do on Steam if you're not doing the regular $9.99 pricing.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what that could be a reference to, I couldn't tell you.
Or it could be a conversion thing.
Maybe, but I have my doubts. Like, anyway, as far as $10 go, I guess, I don't know. It's like nothing about this game really stands out to me. Like, it's not as bland and flavorless as something rather like Games would publish. But on the other hand, it's not super standing out either because, once again, this is the kind of game we see a lot of. And while it's better than I thought it would be, it's not good enough for me to wholeheartedly recommend either. Just the way the cookie crumbles sometimes.
Well, like, if you're willing to toss up $10 more, you can get one of the Castlevania collections.
Right. Or you can get Ghouls and Ghosts or Ghosts and Goblins. I forget which one they were using for Ultimate.
Yeah.
For like 30.
Yeah. So it's like,
Anyway,
if you're really that strapped for cash and want something like Castlevania or Ghouls and Ghosts.
What is the Japanese name of Ghouls and Ghosts? Or does it have one? I'll check.
It does.
I'll look it up later.
I'm like, it has several. Because, like Ghouls and Ghosts is actually a play on the first title. I know, it's a whole thing we don't have time to get into right now.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm like, anyway, so yeah, that'll about do it for not just this review, but this review session. So coming up on the week ahead, on Wednesday, September 18th, we will be having Chris of Toge Productions on the program at a special time. We'll be starting things at 9 p.m. This has to do with the fact that they are located in Indonesia. So there were some time adjustments that had to be made there. Anyway, we will be talking about the game Kriegsoft Tactics. So this is a turn-based mecha tactical game inspired by the classics. Also inspired by the era of conflict in Southeast Asia during the 1970s. And apparently it's alternate history. I'll admit this is an area of history I know very little about.
Mm-hmm.
I think I can say for everyone here.
Yeah.
Like, so
This isn't something gone into much in many Western civics classes.
right. It's also, when you say conflict in Southeast Asia, there was more than one of them.
Yeah, I was about to
during
say,
that time.
that doesn't narrow it down.
It's like when we're talking about that area and the United States, we're talking about Vietnam. Also, there was a conflict. There's a rebellion against the Marcos in the Philippines going on at that time.
Mhm.
Point is,
I mean, the fact that there's more than one thing going on seems to be the point.
yeah, I'm like, and I'm not even sure, like, if there was a conflict going on in Indonesia at that time. Like, there might have been. I genuinely don't know because it's just using the generic designation of Southeast Asian. So, it's kind of being non-specific with its territory here, probably for political reasons. But we'll learn more on that on Wednesday. We do have a new episode of MSP planned as well. And on Friday, September 20th, we will be having Jake Cordes of Nibble and Bite Games. They are the developers of The Fall of Aether Station. The Fall of Aether Station. What you might remember we reviewed a few weeks ago. So, look forward to that. And until next time, I shall wish you good gaming.